Hello, and welcome back. You know, I was sitting down watching the new season of American Dad, as one usually does, and for some reason, in the back of my mind, I started thinking about old Cartoon Network show called MUCHA that I'm very sure only ran for one season, but I vividly remember it like so well. Well, actually, I probably only remember like 3 episodes, if I'm even remembering correctly. But that sent me down a spiral of researching the show and trying to find other shows that people either forgot about or just didn't know existed. We're not talking about SpongeBob, we're not talking about Dexter's Lab or Kim Possible. Those shows have fan pages, merches, reboot, dedicated internet followings. They're very much still popular and alive. I'm talking about the shows that aired maybe a season or 2, but never really took off. No reboots, no revival, no memories of it, just completely gone, not talked about. And some of these cartoons I'm about to mention I genuinely loved, like My Life as a Teenage Robot, MUCHA LUCHA, and Whatever Happened to Robot Jones. And some of them I hated from the absolute beginning because they were garbage. I'm looking at you, The Replacements, but all of them deserve to at least be remembered. So today we're reopening the vault of 9 cartoons that I'm pretty sure most of you have forgotten about. Let's start off with MUCHA LUCHA. If you've never heard of this show, you're in for a whirlwind, so buckle up. MUCHA LUCHA premiered on August 17, 2002 on Kids WB, the Saturday morning cartoons block, and I thought it originally launched on Cartoon Network like I had just said earlier, but apparently Cartoon Network picked up the show 2 years after its original launch. But unbeknownst to me, this show ran for a staggering 3 seasons and 52 episodes. 52, 5-2. I swear it only had like 3 episodes, maybe 5 episodes at the max, and 1 season for sure. Like that was non-negotiable. I was off by a complete 49 episodes. Where were they hiding these episodes? Okay. So what is this show even about? MUCHA LUCHA followed 3 young wrestler luchadores, Ricochet, Winter Girl, and The Flea. And I do remember The Flea like very vividly, unfortunately. They basically live in a world where nobody even removes their mask ever. The life basically revolves around perfecting your signature wrestling move. Everyone in this town wrestles. Everything is about wrestling. Your teachers wrestle. Conflicts get resolved by wrestling. It's unhinged, but I also kind of respect it. And honestly, it actually reminds me of this really great show on the Cartoon Network called Invincible Fight Girl, not invisible. I actually did a breakdown video talking about this on my second channel. I highly recommend you watch that video. I'll link it somewhere right here. It's great. But here's a fun fact, not fun, but MUCHA LUCHA was actually the first animated TV series made entirely in Macromedia Flash. So this show was technically groundbreaking. You just didn't know it because, well, you were 6 or 7. Now, do I remember it? Vaguely. I remember The Flea more than anything. Funny, nasty little guy, never bathed, clearly the fan favorite. The show had this loud, over-the-top energy that either worked for you or didn't. There was no in between, and for me, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of liked it, at least what I could remember about it. Would I say it deserved more than 3 seasons? Honestly, probably not. 52 episodes is a solid run, so I think that's pretty impressive for itself.
Next Saturday, it's Drake Bell versus Jerry Trainer when Miranda Cosgrove's TV brothers go head-to-head.
There's only one way to celebrate.
As they host a 3-hour marathon of iCarly.
Never sneak up on me when I'm thinking about boys.
And Drake and Josh.
Are you eating sushi off of my guitar?
Yeah.
Why?
Does it upset you?
Yes.
Well, that's why.
2 big brothers, 1 big night. Battle of the Brothers, next Saturday starting at 7 on Nick.
Unlike MUCHA LUCHA, My Life as a Teenage Robot is a show that I actually do remember pretty clearly, but I still feel like it doesn't get the amount of love that it deserved. This show deserved way better than what it got. My Life as a Teenage Robot premiered on Nickelodeon on August 1st, 2003, and the concept is exactly what it sounds like. You follow XJ9, or Jenny Wakeman as she prefers to be called, a highly sophisticated android-like robot girl created by her mom, Dr. Nora Wakeman, to protect Earth. But because she's somehow a teenage robot, she just wants to live a normal life, go to high school, have crushes, go to parties. That's it, right? And that's basically the whole tension of the show. Save the world, fight crime, but also survive high school. It's kind of like if Powerpuff Girls added an AI model that wants to be a 2003 teenage girl. I think something I really appreciated about this show was the animation style. I remember thinking about how all their eyes looked really interesting. It was really cool, like retro futuristic style. Think 1950s sci-fi aesthetics mixed with like Saturday morning cartoons. I think it really stood out. Jenny herself was a great character. The show itself was really good in my opinion. She was funny, expressive, genuinely likable for a walking weapon of mass destruction. Now here's where it gets frustrating. The show got canceled in October 2005, halfway through producing season 3, and the completed third season didn't air in the US until 2008, 3 years later, where it was buried on the Nickelodeon spin-off network Nicktoons, not even on regular Nickelodeon, which is channel 63, the correct channel for Nickelodeon, right? Or $2.99 if you have Dish Network. DirecTV. But they just sat on it. The show got solid reviews. It had a decent fan base, and Nick just let it rot for some reason. Were they not proud of it? Did something happen behind the scenes with the creators? This is one of those shows where I feel like the network failed it, not the other way around. Did it deserve more? Absolutely yes. And if you never watched it, go find it. I'm sure it's somewhere. I do think that it still holds up as a great show. Okay, the weird one, Shorty McShort. This one was a weird error for Disney Channel, but I think I'll activate a few of you like some sleeper cells. Shorty McShort aired in Disney Channel from July 28, 2006 to May 25, 2007, which was less than a year. And even though 22 shorts were produced, only 13 actually aired. They didn't even finish airing the rest of the show that they made. So what was it? It was an animated anthology series hosted by a train conductor called Shorty McShorts, where each episode showcased different 4 to 5 minute cartoon pilots, similar to what Cartoon Network did with What a Cartoon or Nickelodeon did with Oh Yeah Cartoons. The idea being that if a short did well, it could get picked up for a full series. This was Disney's version of a pilot showcase format, kind of similar to what Adult Swim is doing right now on YouTube with their shorts. I think they're called shorts, Adult Swim shorts. And here's the wild part. A couple of these shorts actually did become something. One short called Fishtail was reworked into a show called Fish Hooks in 2010, and another called Shizao actually became a full TV series in 2012. So the concept worked, just not for the show itself. The reason this is the deepest cut on the entire list is because after the final episode aired, Disney pulled the show completely and removed all traces of it from their website. No streaming, no reruns, no DVD. It just got erased. You basically have to dig through internet archives to find it at this point. And did it deserve more? Honestly, but also kind of not. Like when I did some research to find out that it was basically a show to show you animated pilots, I'm like, okay, yeah, a 6-month run, that kind of makes sense. How many pilots did they have stacked up? So once they found their shows, they were done. Okay, what happened to Robot Jones? The title of this show alone is doing a lot of work in this video, because legitimately, what did happen to Robot Jones? Whatever happened to Robot Jones premiered on Cartoon Network July 19, 2002, and only ran for 2 seasons. It had a very short run, very short. Only 13 episodes actually aired in America, and the rest kind of just disappeared once again. I remember seeing maybe 5 or 6 episodes of this show and like falling in love with it immediately, and then never being able to find it again. This was the worst thing ever in the day and age where internet wasn't really popular and YouTube wasn't a thing really until like 2005, 2006. Robot Jones is an experimental prototype robot sent by his parents to attend a human middle school in the retro 1980s setting to study humans and learn how to interact with them. He has basic emotions programmed in, but doesn't quite know how to handle them, making him socially awkward in the most robotic way possible. He's got a crush, he's got bullies, he's got gym class, just a regular kid, except he's a machine form 1983. Very analogous to My Life as a Teenage Robot, the show we just talked about. The art style was this intentionally weird but scratchy retro look that felt like it came out of Schoolhouse Rock segment. It was super unique. Nothing else on Cartoon Network looked like it at the time, but here's the behind the scenes drama that makes this show legendary. Robot Jones's voice in season 1 was literally created using Microsoft Word 98 text-to-speech software on a Macintosh computer. That was the actual voice of the main character, a computer voice, and it was perfect. It was this creepy, flat, robotic, weird, totally on brand voice. Then Cartoon Network executives said it sounded too weird and demanded a more Hollywood voice, so they recast him with a human child actor for season 2 and went back and redubbed all of season 1.
Good morning, Dad Unit. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Dad Unit.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Some fans were mad when they changed the voice. I get it. Those original season 1 episodes with the synthesized voice had never officially reappeared, making VCR recordings of them highly coveted among animation fans. And here's the wildest part. The series creator actually intended the series to end with Robot Jones leading a full robot army to annihilate the human race. That was the planned ending. A children's cartoon on Cartoon Network. Robot Uprising. They never got to that part, obviously, but that ending would have been insane, and we're almost there in real life, unfortunately. Looking at you, ChatGPT. But this show deserved way more than it got. It had a criminally short run, and Cartoon Network did it dirty, in my opinion. Maybe put it on Adult Swim and amp it up a bit. Who knows? I would love to see this one come back.
This is Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
All right, the replacements. I told you at the top that some of these shows I hated, and this is one of them. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I did not like this show. The Replacements aired on Disney Channel July 28, 2006 to March 30th, 2009. Way too long in my opinion. With 52 episodes in total on Disney Channel. Not Cartoon Network, not Nickelodeon, Disney Channel. I feel like that's very surprising to me. Disney Channel is strict about how many episodes the show should get, so the fact that it got that many and I didn't like it, I don't know. Not on my TV. So here's the premise. Two orphans named Todd and Riley stumble across a comic book for a company called Fleamco, which lets them replace any adult in their lives that they don't like with someone better. And honestly, probably any child's dream. In the process, they also order new parents, a British secret agent named Agent K, a professional daredevil named Dick Daring. That's the whole show. I think they also like break down this whole what the show is about in the theme song itself. I actually love when theme songs get you caught up on what the show is about within 15 seconds, so you can just hop in on any episode. But if you don't like your teacher, replace them. You don't like your school librarian, replace them. If you don't like your wife, replace. Every episode had the same formula, and look, on paper that concept is actually fine. The execution just didn't work for me. Like, it just didn't click. The characters were annoying, the humor fell flat, and I remember watching one episode as a kid and waiting just for something else to come on. Like, Todd specifically was insufferable. Every episode he uses the phone for something selfish and it backfires, and yeah, you could say that the show was like Fairly Odd Parents, but no, I will not say that. Now, to be fair, the show had a pretty solid celebrity guest roster, including Zac Efron, Miley Cyrus, and Josh Duhamel, but I'm sure they were contractually obligated. Like, did it deserve more seasons? No. Did it deserve the 2 that it got? I guess someone was watching it. So sure, am I being too harsh on this show? Yes, no, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Did you watch this show? I feel like 5 people watched this show. I don't, but then again, that's the reason why I'm making this video. So okay, The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. Now, here's the thing about Flapjack. This show is genuinely unsettling, but in the worst way. The animation style is weird in a way that gets under your skin. The script is weird. Where it takes place, it's weird. It's dark. It's surreal. It has this creepy underwater vibe to everything. But as a kid, I remember watching it and just being locked in the whole time. And a big part of that was the central anchor to the show, Bubby, the whale who raised Flapjack, essentially his mom. And Flapjack is a human, so yeah, you do the math. But she was somehow one of the most wholesome characters on the show, despite being, you know, a giant talking whale that a kid slept inside of. The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack premiered on Cartoon Network in June 5th, 2008 and ran for 3 full seasons until August 2010. The show follows Flapjack, a young boy who gets swept up in the adventures of a washed up pirate named Captain Knuckles. The two of them basically spend their days in Strumalong Harbor chasing the legendary place called Candy Island. That's the show. And it's all in the theme song. Do you remember, does anyone remember the 2 pieces of candy?
2 pieces of candy.
But here's the part that's actually impressive looking back. Several writers and storyboard artists from FLAPJACK went on to create some of the biggest Cartoon Network shows ever. Pendleton Ward created Adventure Time, J.G. Quintel created Regular Show, Alex Hirsch created Gravity Falls. So this weird little show about a boy and a pirate chasing candy was basically a training ground for a generation of animated classics that followed it up. Now, do I think it deserved more seasons? Nope. 3 is a good amount. It served its purpose, and I kind of like when cartoons run their course, like Camp Lazlo. Summer is only for a limited time, so yes, this show did its thing, and it is definitely a weird one, and I try not to forget about it. I hope you also remember this show. Jackie Chan Adventures. And look, I want to be upfront. This one is a little bit of a stretch for this video because Jackie Chan Adventures is not exactly fully forgotten, I think. I do think a lot of people aren't familiar with the show, but I'm including it anyway because I feel like people remember Jackie Chan, the actor, way more than they remember the show existing, and that kind of feels like a crime, in my opinion. Jackie Chan Adventures premiered on September 9th, 2000 and ran for 5 seasons, which already makes it one of the longest running shows on this list. 95 episodes in total on Kids WB. This show had a full run longer than most TV shows and cartoons. Nobody can say that it cut short. What happened to Kids WB? Is WB still a thing? I don't know. Oh man. Why? I need to make a video on that. Whatever. So what was it? The show follows a fictionalized version of Jackie Chan, voiced by Jackie Chan. And he's not an action star in this movie. He's an archaeologist and reluctant secret agent who gets pulled into fighting magical and supernatural threats. Aided by his niece Jade, his uncle, and a government organization called Section 13. As I was going back to rewatch the show, I remember how great the animation style of this was and how fun the episodes and the storyline was, and the intro itself. I really love the mix of using real life Jackie Chan and the animated Jackie Chan in the intro. I think it's great. But every season had their different overarching threat. It was a demon, it was talisman, it was dark magic. It was structured like a proper adventure show with actual stakes where every episode builds on the next one somehow. At the end of every episode, the real Jackie would show up in a live action segment answering fan questions and talking about Chinese history and culture. As a kid, I thought this was the coolest thing ever, and just to watch a cartoon version of this guy punch a demon, and now the real version of him is sitting here answering my letter. It was a wild format, but I love seeing that there was a real Jackie Chan behind the scenes of the show. Uncle is probably also one of the best supporting characters in cartoon history, and I said what I said. Did it deserve more? I think the show got the number of episodes it deserved, but even at the time, it didn't feel as popular as something like Fairly Odd Parents. Like, have y'all watched the show? Let me know down in the comments, please. I don't want to feel like I'm the only one. Megas XLR. This one might be the most painful entry on this list for me personally, because in hindsight, this show was kind of great. Original and creative idea for sure, but it had something going. Megas XLR aired on Toonami blog on Cartoon Network from May 1st, 2004 to January 15, 2005. 2 seasons, 26 episodes, and then it was gone. Like less than a year on air, which is kind of criminal. I wouldn't be too mad if Adult Swim tried to bring this back. I think it would fit in perfectly with that block. So what was this show about? 2 slacker best friends, Coop and Jamie, find a giant robot from the future sitting in a New Jersey junkyard. Coop, being the mechanic that he is and a complete gearhead, does what any reasonable person would do, of course, when they find a giant futuristic robot. He replaces the robot's entire head with a classic muscle car, and somehow he slaps a flaming paint job on it and names it Megas XLR. Duh, wouldn't you do that? When a woman from the future named Kiva shows up because the robot is actually Earth's last hope against an alien invasion, and now she's stuck relying on this guy from Jersey to save the planet. As I say this out loud, I see how outlandish this show was, and I understand why it might have got canceled. But I mean, that was the show. It was funny. It was loud. Every episode, something massive gets destroyed, and Coop just does not care. The humor was perfectly self-aware. You knew it was a giant robot car show, and it leaned way into it. Cartoon Network canceled it due to low ratings and then wrote it off as a tax loss. And that tax write-off decision basically killed any chance of the show ever coming back. The co-creators tried for years to revive it, but were told because it was written off, Cartoon Network couldn't exploit it domestically without facing legal and tax consequences. Basically, they cannot make any more money off of this show because they wrote it off as a loss. The show is essentially trapped. You can't stream it in the US, you can't buy it easily, it just exists in this weird legal gray zone. A reboot reboot was apparently even planned at some point, but got scrapped after the Discovery merger with Warner Bros. So it's just gone. It's sitting in a vault somewhere collecting dust while the fans keep asking for it back. Did it deserve more? Maybe one extra season. Yeah, I'm curious where this could have gone, but this is probably the biggest what if on my list. And last one, OZZY and DRIX. And I saved this one for last because I genuinely believe that most people watching this video right now have absolutely no memory of it whatsoever. You're probably one of the only 5 people who remember this show. This one is special because it's based off a movie that most people also forget, but that I love. OZZY and DRIX is a spin-off of the 2001 film Osmosis Jones, and it aired on Kids WB. Man, Kids WB kind of had it going on, right? Y'all remember Shaolin Showdown? Was that on Kids WB? Okay, I'm getting off track. It aired on Kids WB for 2 seasons and 26 episodes from 2002 to 2004. 2 years to air 26 episodes is crazy. But if you've never seen Osmosis Jones, it is a live action and animated hybrid movie where the inside of the human body is basically a city and white blood cells or cops fighting germs and viruses. I like this movie a lot, actually, even though it kind of bombed, but somehow they made it into a kid's cartoon. The show follows Osmosis Jones, aka OZZY, a white blood cell, and his partner DRIX, a cold pill who now lives inside the body of a teenager named Hector Cruz instead of the movie's original host. Good idea. Same concept, new body, cleaner version for kids. Every episode they're fighting some new germ or virus threatening Hector from inside out. And honestly, the show is actually pretty clever. The inside the body city concept gave the writers a lot to work with. They could do a lot of world building or body building, not that kind of body building. Episodes about sugar rushes, puberty, lice, allergies. It was sneaky educational television in a way that didn't feel like homework. The humor worked. The characters were likable. The reason it fits this list is simple. It's the only animated spinoff ever spun from a Warner Brothers feature film, which is genuinely impressive and a weird distinction, and almost nobody knows it exists. The movie it came from is also very forgotten, and the show is even more forgotten, but it was good and it deserved at least one more season or more episodes. They had 2 years. They only made 26 episodes. That's crazy. And there you go. That's 9 cartoons that time forgot. Well, you all probably forgot, and apparently I remembered enough to make a whole video about them. So what does that say about me? Some of these shows were genuinely great and got done dirty by the networks. Some of them had a solid run and just faded out naturally, and one of them, I'm not going to say which one, absolutely deserved exactly what it got. You know who you are. I'm not going to say your name. Replacements. But here's the thing, these shows existed. Someone greenlit them. Someone drew every single frame and wrote every single episode, and even if only a few thousand people remember them now, they clearly left enough a mark that you're still here watching this video about them in 2026. So that counts for something. So if any of these shows brought something back for you, go find them. Some of them are easier to track down than others, and some of them are basically buried in a legal vault somewhere, but they're worth a dig. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you're subscribed because I got another one in the works. That's all I'm gonna say. Like this video, drop a comment, tell me which one of these you actually remember, and I'll see you all in the next one.